Very good morning to you, Mfundo. Thank you so much. So yesterday we saw Banyana Banyana being welcomed at OR Tambo International. I mean, safe to say it was a hero's welcome. I don't think anyone could have expected the number of crowds, the thousands of people that were both inside the airport and outside the airport as Banyana Banyana were welcomed with that AFCON trophy. A lot of dignitaries were also there. President Danny Jordan, Staff of President Danny Jordan, Minister of Sports and Arts and Culture, Ms. Mthimkulu, tongue twister. They were all there, and we saw a couple of promises being made. Danny Jordan speaking about how he plans to push for the gender pay gap to be closed, saying that he'll have a number of meetings with the NEC to see if they can make that happen, as well as Mthimkulu surprising the ladies with a check of 5.8 million rands. That is completely unexpected. So it was a very good day all round, was as Banyana Banyana, we know, were treated to the welcome that they deserve. Now today, President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to welcome the players to the union buildings. They, of course, are going to be taking their AFCON trophy with them to try and just continue with these celebrations. If you recall, President Cyril Ramaphosa did virtually contact them just before the final, wishing them luck, and perhaps he was the lucky charm. So I'm going to go over to Hloni Mthimkulu. She is at the union buildings. It was supposed to begin at 10 a.m. Hloni, but I don't think it started yet. How are things looking?
Right, Nandi, so things haven't started yet, but we expect that they will start fairly soon. The red carpet has certainly been laid out for our dignitaries and, of course, our guests of honor, who are Banyana Banyana, the technical team, and Coach Desiree Ellis. So we expect that things should get going pretty soon. When you talk about yesterday's dignitaries, some of the dignitaries that we've seen today include Minister in the Presidency, Mondi Gungubele, the Deputy Minister of State Security, Zizi Kodwa is here. We've also seen Agriculture Minister Togo Didiza here as well. So it is quite an important occasion with important dignitaries that are here. Hopefully that, again, we keep saying this, will put more pressure on the football fraternity to do more for women's football. I also am going to try and get to the spokesperson of the presidency, Mr. Vincent Magwenya, just to ask him, sir, there's a lot of conversation about money that's been had over the past few days. Are we going to expect something like that, or what do we expect from today? So there's been a lot of just talk about giving the players the money that they deserve and they should be paid and that sort of thing. Are we going to expect something like that today, or what should we expect from this today?
No, already government has made a significant contribution in awarding the players through the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. That was announced yesterday. In terms of today, what we should expect is the president really congratulating the team, amplifying the enormous contribution that the team has made, not only in winning this tournament, but just to South Africa's sporting achievement on the whole. With respect to issues of pay in general, one will support a scenario where the South African Football Association reconsiders levels of pay between the national teams, the women's national team, as well as the male national team. If you look at outputs and if you look at the level of dedication, the women's national soccer team deserve to be paid a similar amount of money as their male counterparts, if not more. They've won a tournament. But also, it's an issue generally in society. We need to get to a point where we really deal with this issue of women being underpaid for the same amount of work at all levels, whether it's at factory, shop floor level or at executive level. Women deserve to be paid like everybody else, if not more in some cases, for their contribution to society. So it's an issue that we're supposed to have resolved as a country, and it's one that we hope will be resolved fairly soon.
And just tell us, what was the thinking, I guess, behind having this celebration today? I know the president did speak to the team on Friday, and then just today, what does he hope to get across to the team?
Well, the president, as you say, spoke to the team, wished the team well. He had every confidence that the team will deliver and will bring the trophy home. What he wants to emphasize today is the importance of resilience. As you know, COVID-19 impacted the team's preparations, but they persevered. and there were injuries. There was a lot of pain in the process. And the president wants to highlight to young people in the country that if you persevere, if you work hard, if you apply yourself, at the end you will be rewarded. And that's the message he wants to pass on today, over and above, really congratulating the team and expressing the gratitude on behalf of the South African public.
Thank you, sir. Nani, that was the presidential spokesperson, Vincent Magwenya. We are going to try, if we do have time, to get to one of the dignitaries who I believe is a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, Mr. Zizigodwa. I'm not sure we'll be able to get to him, but I'll just throw it back to you for anything else.
You know, I was looking at the tournament's best 11 that recently came out. The likes of Andile Gamini, Banyana Banyana, Rufilwe Jani, as well as Jermaine Seoposemi. Now, that is 4 Banyana Banyana players that have made that list. You spent a lot of time with them just before the tournament as a sports reporter. What are some of the things they were saying before the tournament? Could they have dreamt of such a fairy tale ending?
You know, I think this time around the tournament was definitely a different one compared to all the years and the editions that have come before. And just so you know, you can see the Minister and the President, Simon Kikunguvele, enjoying himself, is he not? And you can also see that the SAFA President is also here, as well as Minister Shabane as well. And I think that is Minister Mutsaha as well. So I think you can see that today is definitely a big deal. We are going to try and get to Zizigodwa as well. We can just walk across. And he just about how they really felt that it was a different tournament this time around, that do better than they had that in previous years. And yeah, and, you know, they were very confident in terms of that. I am going to try and get to Mr. Zizigodwa. I have a question for him. I ask you, what a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, right? I believe you're a Kaizer Chiefs supporter.
I support football. I support football.
Okay, but in case you support Kaizer Chiefs, would it not be a good thing to see a Kaizer Chiefs women's team? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but given we're supporting Banyana Banyana, we're celebrating Banyana Banyana, wouldn't you like to see a Kaizer Chiefs ladies FC?
Well, look, I'm here to celebrate a moment that any country like ourselves, there are moments in a country where you must celebrate. Moments where they bring people together. That's why Banyana Banyana have made us proud. That's why we're here today. I think the country, all over the country, we should welcome it. Our local football has not been doing well. Our local clubs have not been doing well. Our league is not the best as it used to be. It's because the clubs are not doing well. There are many reasons for that. Some of them, they change coaches, they don't play players. I mean, there's Mamkize, there's Kaizer Chiefs, there's Marimara. We don't know. But something else must be done, whether to promote school sport in terms of sport development, but something must be done at least to lift up the standard of our sport, because sport plays an important part in the development of a nation. Sport at the moment is a little bit weak, and I think Banyana Banyana came at an appropriate time to lift up our spirits.
So you don't want to see a women's club at your club that you support?
I support the initiative by many other clubs that have already started, including Mamkize, to have a women's club. But it must not be a lip service. You see, for example, the issue of equal work, equal pay is important, because it must be illegal. It's discrimination that women are paid less doing the same job as men. They kick the same football. They score the same goals. And I think those things as a country must stand up and say, given what has happened now, not again.
Thank you, Minister. Right, I put the Minister on the spot there, but I think he spoke well just about paying people and paying the players for the work that they do.
And one of the things that also came up yesterday, Hloni, that I'm thinking about that was quite important during SAFA President Danny Jordan's speech, during his address, was when he mentioned that there are some discrepancies in terms of how we refer to these tournaments. You know, we've got AFCON, and then we've got the women's AFCON. We've got the FIFA World Cup, which is for men, and then the Women's FIFA World Cup. He just suggested that perhaps we should put a gender on each of them. So, for example, the men's AFCON and the women's AFCON, men's World Cup, women's World Cup. And it makes sense to me because there's no need why we should emphasize on the one what gender it is, and on the other we don't emphasize that. Now, I mentioned the World Cup, Hloni, because Banyana Banyana have now, for a successive time, qualified for the World Cup. Is it too soon for me to ask you what Desiree Ellis has said about her plans for the World Cup?
Yeah, Nandi, so when I actually spoke to Coach Desiree Ellis on Sunday morning, just after that victory, and she did say that they plan to, her plan at the least is that they should leave the group stages of that World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. So I think that will be a big focus for her. But for that to happen, we saw in the build-up to the 2018 World Cup where Banyana Banyana played a number of friendlies just to get them prepared for, to play in the World Cup. And I think that made a big difference because they weren't just playing teams, for example, in the COSAFA region that they used to play. They weren't even just playing teams in the CAF region that they used to play. But I think I remember that they played the US. I think they also played Japan or China, so they were going all over. And I think when you see that before this tournament, they played that friendly against the Netherlands, which was meant to be played last year, but they were able to play it this year. I think that makes a big difference in terms of the quality of opposition that they face, because obviously on the continent they do well, and in COSAFA as well they do well. So of course we would want them to play strong opposition, play you well for the World Cup. So she has said them to exit the group stages. A big doing for the team, but you've got a lot of experience now in that team compared to in 2019 when they were there. So hopefully that will happen, or at least that they win a game. I mean, in 2019 they lost all 3 of their group stage matches, so we'll have to see what happens. I do believe, Nandi, that the president might be arriving. I'm not sure if you have our visuals, but I think the president might be arriving now, Nandi.
All right, Hloni, we're going to step away from you a little bit because proceedings are a little bit delayed, but I'll be coming back to you shortly.